Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Hot Topics, 10 a.m., close to 10. We were ready a little earlier, but I just wanted to get some stuff across. Actually, let me tell you the truth here. We were, as you know, Donald Trump is, or at least the folks who work with him, are thinking, or at least they want to go see Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, so perhaps I don't know if they're saying they're going to maybe talk to her about a pardon. That's the reports, a possible pardon, or I don't know what information, but that is what we're hearing. Before I get to that, let me just say good morning to everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is the last morning with my family here. Don't tell them. They're going to come up here and strangle me, except mom is staying. Who knows? Indefinitely. So last time mom was here, she's supposed to be here a week. She ended up staying 6 weeks. Not this time. I'm just saying. Okay. Hi, Minnesota. Hi, Mary. Good morning, everyone. So I'm so glad that I love that we can be so personal. Amelia Johnson, not everybody does this. Everyone just gets sort of straight to business. I like to discuss. Some of the stuff, Andy, if you can find it, the stuff from yesterday from the private chat, I know it's a lot to ask, and I don't know if it's still in there. Maybe we can show some of it if we have a chance. But one of the reasons that it took me so long is because we were listening to and discussing one of the accusers in the Epstein-Trump saga, okay? And people often forget about the victims or the people who are involved, and they just get, they get fixated on the headlines and what's the information and the numbers when people talk about statistics. And I always have to remind people that behind that statistic is an actual person. Behind the numbers, behind the headlines, behind all of it, there's an actual person involved in all of this stuff. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. So I just want to prepare you for it. So get ready. I want you guys to hit the thumbs up. This is a very important episode that we're going to have. It may be difficult even for the AI, the algorithm, because we're going to talk about things in detail that perhaps is not for, shall we say, people who are easily offended, or if you have a sensitive ear, sensitive mind. And Deidre, you're right. There are victims, and a lot of people forget that. Okay, and so, but the stories are nightmare fodder. It is. Thank you for that, Cynthia. So let me just say, yeah, it is odd that all of a sudden, put up the headline, Andy, please, of Ghislaine Maxwell, the Deputy Attorney General, seeking a meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. Don't know why that is happening. With Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, you guys know Todd Blanch? Todd Blanch at a news conference at the James Brady, that's the picture, right? And this was on June 27th. There's a Deputy Attorney General who's also Donald Trump's attorney when he was convicted on 34 counts. And I believe for Epstein as well, along with Alina Habba. So Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanch announced Tuesday that he is seeking a meeting with Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell. And what they want is, hang on, why do I have this? I already have this here. I'm trying to, because I want to be able to read it. So they're seeking a meeting. So here's the big picture. The MAGA revolt over Trump administration's recent handling of the case, which Hill Democrats have gladly seized on, has seen Attorney General Pam Bondi become a key target of their discontent. The president, who amid mounting scrutiny has railed against what he is now calling a hoax, last week directed Bondi to ask the court to release all relevant grand jury testimony in the disgraced financiers case, which means nothing. Because that's not what people want. People want what? They want the actual Epstein files. They don't want the grand jury testimony, which is about Epstein, or I guess Ghislaine Maxwell. They actually want what? They want the files. They want to know what's in there, who's in there, the information from that. The grand jury testimony is just simply, it's a head fake. They're trying to fake people out that they're actually delivering some information that they're not delivering. Okay? That's what it is. Driving the news, Blanche said in a social media post that Bondi instructed him to contact Maxwell's legal team, which he has done, and he intends to meet with Maxwell soon. Now, think about the people, and I want you to just think about this. Why on earth would the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General, a member of Donald Trump's administration, be going to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell, who is sitting in prison and reportedly, allegedly, maybe seeking a pardon if something wasn't going on? This is fishy. And they wonder why, and it's not just Democrats, they wonder why most sane people are wondering, well, what the hell is going on here? Why are you all of a sudden trying to pretend that this is a hoax when you were all for it and then not? Remember what I said. Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. When there's something behind this. And this all-out effort, this Herculean effort to try to get people to stop talking about it. To try to do what? Deflect and with other headlines. Let me just show you some of the deflections. Let me just show you real quick before we get into the story. Put up some of the headlines, Andy. These are the deflections that they're trying to put out instead of dealing with Epstein. Trump says he's considering revoking Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship, reigniting decades old. Okay, distraction. We're not going to fall for it. Trump urges Washington and Cleveland sports teams to revert to former names. Distraction. We're not falling for the okie doke. Okay, Coca-Cola will launch version with U.S. cane sugar after Trump push. Deflection, distraction. We're not falling for it. MAGA demands Obama in real handcuffs in wild conspiracy meltdown. Deflection, we're not falling for. We're going to talk about that one, though, because this one is bizarre. Yes. And Gail Lewis, swollen ankles, we need to talk about. We need to talk about the swollen ankles. Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Back to Axios. Okay? No one is above the law, and no lead is off limits, he wrote. That is the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanch. This Department of Justice does not shy away from uncomfortable truth, nor from the responsibility to pursue justice wherever the facts may lead, Blanch said in a statement shared on Bondi's X account. Now, here is the thing. The person who was your personal attorney in these cases, criminal and civil, Todd Blanch, is now the Deputy Attorney General, which means you think that the Deputy Attorney General should be your own personal counsel, and that's how you're using him. And should we have any belief or trust that we will get anything if they uncover anything, that Todd Blanch or Pam Bondi will release it? Will we get the real information, the transcripts of anything that happened with a meeting between Ghislaine Maxwell and Todd Blanch and Pam Bondi? You want to hold your breath? Anybody want to hold their breath on that one? This is an important story, everyone. That's why I keep talking about it every single day. Do not tune out. Do not be distracted by the noise. The more he gets people to try to turn away, the more we should keep our focus on this. Blanche added that the FBI and the DOJ joint statement sent earlier this month regarding Epstein remains as accurate today as it was when it was written. Blah, 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 blah. Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty in 2021 of trafficking and other charges and is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence in Florida. And they want to talk to her. Keep your eyes on the prize, my friends. Okay? So thank you for joining us this morning. I just want to get that out of the way. Now, we're going to discuss all of that. And I want to play something for you that I want you to sit and, but please, before you do any of that, okay, make sure you hit the thumbs up, make sure you hit the like, become a member. That keeps us on the air and viable and streaming. And hit the subscribe button. The subscribe button is very important. The subscribe button, can we show them on the YouTube app where the subscribe button is? If we go to, I think you can go to donlemon.com and pull it up, because I want people to know, to make sure, and to show them how easy it is to become a member. And then we're going to get into the show. So here it is. So go there and then you hit the watch. So if you go to donlemon.com, hit that top thing, the watch, right? And then it will show you there. You can subscribe. It'll tell you, hit that where it says subscribed right there. It'll tell you you can subscribe and where you can find it. So there it is right there. And then if you want to become a member, go over to the join button. And that is where you can become a member. Click on the members. We can show you the membership thing. And it is, if you click on that, Andy, show them. To become a member, our memberships are extremely reasonable. And there is join this channel and you get access to membership perks. And it will show you there, $2.99 per month you can join. You can also join $9.99 and you get also special things like the private chat that we had last night. And then you can become a legend where you actually get to be on the program every single week. We hear from our folks. So that's our membership. So become a member. That's how we stay viable here. That's just important for independent media that's going to continue to report on this without fear or favor, without the corporate influence, none of that. $2.99 a month. Come on, you guys pay more for that and coffee every single day. Don't tell me you're not at the Starbucks or at the DQ. Is that right? Dairy Queen or whatever it is, or what's the other one?
Dunkin'.
You're not at Dunkin' or any of those places. $2.99. Come on. Give me a break. Or $9.99. You guys pay that for a coffee every single day. Or when you go to the fast food places, you pay more than that for a lunch every single day. And so we're out here working for you. Okay, so thank you for that. All right, so I appreciate that. That's what you can do. And then if you are watching us live, if you see where you see the comments scrolling, there is a subscribe button right below that. Okay? Subscribe button is right next to that. You see that red button? That's our subscribe button. All right, thank you. This is important that we point these things out. Okay, so here's what I want to tell you. I want you guys to pay attention as you hit the thumbs up. And this is really important because I say we always forget about what? About the victims. Now, and the accusers and the people who are involved in this. So my friend Erin Burnett, you know how much I love Erin Burnett over at the CNN. She is a true professional, a true star, seasoned, smart, beautiful, just a lovely person. And she knows how to conduct an interview and just to let people talk. Not to have them to be intimidated, any of that. Okay? She knows how to do that. And she conducted an interview last night that I want everyone to see. Okay? I want everyone to see. Thank you, Kira W. It's so worth it to get Genius News. Thank you. $2.99 is so worth it to get Genius News. Thank you, Kira. And so is $9.99, I have to say. Or so is the other one that you get to be on the channel, the higher tier. Okay, so let's put up the New York. This is a New York Times headline. The accuser story suggests how Trump might appear in the Epstein files. A former Jeffrey Epstein employee said that she told the FBI in 1996 and in 2006 what she considered a troubling encounter with Donald J. Trump. Now, if you know about what happens in New York City, she's about the Helmsley building and where that is, and Leona Helmsley and all of that. And Donald Trump, they all were connected back in the 80s and the 90s. It was the summer of 1996 when her name is Maria Farmer, went to law enforcement to complain about Jeffrey Epstein. At the time, she said that she had been SA'd by Mr. Epstein and his longtime partner, Ghislaine Maxwell. Ms. Farmer, then in her mid-20s, had also learned about a troubling encounter that her younger sister, then a teenager, had endured at Mr. Epstein's ranch in New Mexico, and she described facing threats from Mr. Epstein. Now, here's the thing. There was an encounter, according to her, with Donald Trump at the Helmsley offices. This is a Helmsley building in New York City. There was a Helmsley Hotel, remember that? And the Helmsley building in New York City. And she said that she encountered Donald Trump one evening. She went to see Jeffrey Epstein, and Donald Trump, according to her, was there. Let's remember there are victims here. She is an accuser. She said Donald Trump made her feel uncomfortable, and there was an uncomfortable conversation that she has shared with law enforcement. And then we're going to show you why people are suspicious, because law enforcement, many of them, or some of them, either work for Donald Trump or have been in his orbit. Okay, so everybody, here we go. Let's listen to this lady who said she was 25 years old. Her name is Maria Farmer, on with Aaron Burnett last night. Here it is.
And I've waited 3 decades to be able to even be heard about this, because the government has not held any of the people I reported accountable. And so basically the night before I went in, before I began working for Epstein, he called me at very late in the evening and asked me to come up to the Helmsley Palace offices. And I didn't even have money for a subway token. It's kind of embarrassing. So I had to go running up there. And so I told Epstein, I'll be up there. It'll probably take me until like 9. He's like, okay. So I get there and I'm waiting. It's dark. Like there's no light on in the offices. And I thought that was really weird. So I'm seated against the wall in the main part of the offices and just waiting for Epstein. And he says, I'll be out in a minute, you know, and he's got the door closed. And then a few minutes later, this man walks in a business suit, kind of tall, imposing. And I immediately was like, that's Donald Trump. What's he doing here?
Pause.
I'm supposed to be working.
Okay, so that's Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump has been a known figure, a household name since the 1980s by his own volition. Remember, he would call his, he would pretend to be his own press agent to try to get himself in the news. He loved being on the entertainment programs. He loved pretending that he was at the top of the Forbes richest people list and all of that. So people knew who people have known Donald Trump since the 1980s by the Donald, or people just know. Okay, so she recognized him immediately. Let's go.
For Epstein and interviewing with him. Why is Donald Trump here? And he walked up about, a few feet from me and just stood over me in a very imposing way and looked at me like he was in on some secret or something. It was really weird, like smirking kind of. And I felt threatened, so I made an ugly face. And when I made that ugly face, Epstein walked out from the offices on this side. Trump's standing here, I'm here. And he walks out of his office and he goes, oh, no. He was laughing at me. And he goes, she's not here for you. Follow me, right? And he escorts him in to this other room. And I always wondered, who was she in there? Was someone in there, right? And I have no way of knowing, nothing. But I felt very intimidated because I had on running shorts and I was vulnerable, sweaty, just a nobody in an office with these 2 men. That it felt very predatory and uncomfortable. I have to say that when I made that ugly face, he backed off. It wasn't like he was aggressive after that, but he made a really vulgar comment following. And I don't know if it was like, like locker room talk in the 90s, the way men were, but he made a joke to Epstein, oh, I thought she was 16. And I thought that was so strange because at the time my sister she was 15 actually. And I didn't think it was funny, even though it was just a little bit inappropriate, but I thought, I don't know what it was. But anyway, and then they entered that room.
So Epstein says, she's not for you. And then when did Trump make the comment about your age? Again, you were 25 at the time, right? So, I mean, you were a 25-year-old woman. Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
But
I was
it
a woman,
after Epstein
right.
said that comment that he made the comment about age, or?
Yes. So he first said, no, she's not here for you, which immediately made me feel weird. Like, was there someone there, right, in that other room? And so that's another reason I was nervous. And so as soon as he said that, laughed, I made the face, all that stuff, they started to walk away into that other room. where he's escorting him. He goes, come with me. And he takes Trump into this other room in the offices at 9 o'clock at night. And there's no one else in, that I know of in these offices, but was someone in that room. So I always wondered what that was about. And anyway, that comment was made under his breath as they were entering that room.
As they were.
Now, I thought she was, what did he say, 15, 16? Allegedly, according to her. That's what she says. Now, you understand what I'm saying when I tell you guys. You understand what I tell you guys, that there are victims involved in this, and there are accusers. And we forget about them because we get involved in the salacious aspect of the news. So this is why I say Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Now, some folks are wondering, oh, this is a while ago, but we were discussing this before, saying things that happen in your life sometimes, like, so I don't even know where I was on Sunday night for dinner. But when you are someone, she said she was 25 years old. She didn't even have money she had to walk because she didn't even have money for a subway token back then. I think it was probably less than $1, if not $1 or so back in the day. So she was a struggling young person. And then if you meet someone like Jeffrey Epstein, who is one of the wealthiest people in New York City, and you're going to Helmsley offices and all of those things, and then you see Donald Trump, that sticks in your mind. And remember, she's gone to law enforcement twice about this. Okay? So what is going on here? I don't know. But something is not sitting right. And she goes on to talk to Aaron. Here it is.
How close were they as far as you were able to tell?
Well, like Epstein said, he inherited him in the divorce. He said, basically, you're going to see us together all the time. We're fixtures because in the divorce, I inherited Trump and Ghislaine inherited Ivana. So he said, you're not going to see him at the house the way you see Ivana, and you're not going to see her at the offices the way you see Trump. And, it was just, it was a known thing, like among the staff and everyone, that they were best friends. And Epstein bragged about it. And I gave up 30 years to report this. And it's a very serious thing to fight the government. It's been unbelievable. I've been fighting 2 cancers because of it.
Maria, when we reached out to the White House for a comment, they responded, and I'll just read for you what they said.
Okay.
Quote, the president was never in Epstein's office, and in fact, the president kicked him out of his club for being a creep. They then say that Trump, they're clear there. They say he was never in Epstein's office, which, of course, from the original incident that you're talking about is where this occurred, according to your recollection, at the Helmsley building in New York.
He was absolutely in the offices.
So what do you say when they give a response like this?
Yes. I say that they're being disrespectful to the fact that I have given up my entire life for this case just to have it investigated. And I'm really sorry for him that he's caught, but, I don't know what to say to that. He's lying. I don't appreciate it. He was absolutely at the offices, and it was 9 o'clock at night. I thought it was inappropriate. But also, they were best friends at the time. So what I say to that is, I don't think he's really responding to the fact. And what does he mean, the offices? He needs to be specific, because he was in the Helmsley Palace offices.
And there you go. Brilliantly conducted interview, Aaron Burnett. And ma'am, let me just say that you are brave to come out and tell this story. Again, all of this is alleged by her. And I see you folks in the comments saying it could be 90 years and I would still remember. And she said, and I agree with the person in the comments. This is Linda Ferker, who said, don't apologize for Trump or Epstein. Yeah, I think that's more of a figure of speech, like, hey, sorry, not sorry. But she's saying, I'm sorry if it's, if it upsets him or whatever. But she says he's lying. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, and just speaking of lying, I'll show you after the ad break. I'm going to find it. But because Donald Trump lies about a lot of stuff, but I'll show you. First, I want to get a word in from our sponsors. Here it is. The Don Lemon Show is sponsored today by Chef IQ. You ever find yourself hovering over the grill, sweating through your shirt, flipping a steak over and over, hoping that it's not raw inside? Well, that used to be me. I love to entertain, but I don't love the stress of overcooked chicken or undercooked salmon or an undercooked steak or an overcooked steak. That changed when I found Chef IQ Sense. This thing is brilliant. It is a wireless cooking sensor. I want you to think meat thermometer, but way, way, way smarter than that. You just pop it right into whatever you're cooking. You open the Chef IQ app and choose how you want it done. Medium rare, well done, whatever your vibe is. It tracks your food and it sends an alert right to your phone when it's cooked just right. There's no guessing, there's no cutting into the middle, there's no babysitting the stove. Now I can actually sit and I can talk with guests instead of running back and forth, back and forth. And listen, there is a flash sale going on right now. 15% off, okay? Just for you, 15% off. So go to chefiq.com and use the promo code LEMON. That's chefiq.com, code LEMON. Your grill game will thank you. 120 Life is also a sponsor of today's show. Now, let me tell you something very personal here. Someone very close to me is struggling. They're struggling with high blood pressure. It's really scary. It can be scary for you as well. 1 in 2 adults in this country has it. That's half of us walking around at risk, and many of us, well, we don't even know it. That's why I'm talking about 120 Life. It is a powerful blend of superfruit juices, natural, delicious, backed by science. You drink it daily, and it helps lower your blood pressure without medication. It's also great for people dealing with things like diabetes. Doctors trust it. People see real, measurable changes. You can use a simple monitor at home and actually see the difference. So try it for yourself and get 20% off with the code DON at 120life.com. That's 120life.com, promo code DON. And if it doesn't work for you in 2 weeks, full refund, no risk, just better health. This is your life. Take care of it. Okay, so thank you to our sponsors. Someone asked me, I think Puma asked me, yes, I record them just before the show because it keeps me focused, because sometimes I'll read the ad and I won't remember where exactly I am in the show, okay? So thank you so much to our sponsors. We really appreciate it. Okay, so this, you just heard from a woman there who is an accuser of Jeffrey Epstein, and also said that she saw Donald Trump in an office and it made her uncomfortable, and they had this bizarre conversation that and those are her words, that she always wondered when they were talking about a teenager who was in that other room or what have you. And so just so you know, because we're talking about the accusers and the victims here, there are people who are involved. I just want to read this, okay? This is from PBS NewsHour. There is a Jane Doe, a.k.a. Katie Johnson. You guys have probably heard from her. This is in 1994. She filed a lawsuit in June of 2016, filed a lawsuit, and then in June of 2016, refiled in October of 2016, as reported by BuzzFeed and others, and then dropped it in November of 2016. Jane Doe is an unnamed plaintiff who has gone by Katie Johnson in legal papers. She claims she was repeatedly R-worded by Trump and Jeffrey Epstein at Epstein's New York City apartment in 1994 when she was 13. A witness also given a pseudonym of the name Tiffany Doe said she recruited Jane Doe and others. Doe, using the name Johnson, gave an interview to the Daily Mail in which she said she did not know who Trump was at the time of the alleged attack, but identified him later when she saw him on television. It's not known why she withdrew the lawsuit. She has not spoken publicly or withdrawn our allegation since then. Okay? So again, that is from the PBS NewsHour. It's also from BuzzFeed, as they're reporting, and also from the Daily Mail, etc. Again, there you go, as it relates to this. Now, do you remember? So, Donald Trump has denied it. And you heard Aaron Burnett read the response saying, no, he's never been to the office, never done it, never seen it, any of that stuff, right? And we know that Donald Trump does that all the time. Every single time he's accused of something that he's not happy with. So, all right, but here's the thing. When I want you to look at this. Remember when the Wall Street Journal reported Donald Trump sent Jeffrey Epstein a gift and a drawing with some lewd language and writing on it, and Donald Trump says, it's just not me, his denial. Sent it to Epstein for a birthday present. Now, I want to put up this article because Donald Trump denied it. He said, I don't draw, I've never done that, I don't draw pictures, I don't make pictures, I don't write pictures, or whatever he said. Okay, so this is from the New York Times. See that? Donald Trump mounted a vigorous rebuttal on Thursday night, a report in the Wall Street Journal that he sent birthday greetings with explicit suggested drawing for Jeffrey Epstein in 2003. His alibi, I don't draw pictures. That's what he wrote on Truth Social. But a review of the president's past reveals that for years, Mr. Trump was a high-profile doodler, or at least suggested he was. In the early 2000s, he regularly donated drawings to charities in New York. The drawings, many of which appear to be done with a thick black marker and prominently feature a signature, are not dissimilar to how the journal describes a birthday note he sent to Epstein. It takes a few minutes to draw something. In my case, it's usually a building, a cityscape, or skyscraper, and then sign my name. But it raises thousands of dollars to help the hungry in New York City through the Capuchin Food Pantries Ministry, he wrote in his 2008 book, Trump Never Gives Up, How I Turn My Biggest Challenges into Success. And then it has different photographs of pictures. He says, I don't draw pictures, yet he used to draw them, sign them, and then auction them off for charity. But he has never seen, never done any of this. I don't write pictures. I don't draw pictures. This is not me. I don't know this woman, never met this woman. I've never been at Jeffrey Epstein's offices and never went there. I'm just saying, and I can go through dozens of times that he has done this and the evidence shows otherwise. So how are you to believe this? How are you supposed to believe any of these things? Everyone says innocent until proven guilty. Now just remember, being found liable for abuse in a court is real for Donald Trump. E. Jean Carroll, that happened. And people still say, well, he denies it. Okay, fine. Now, of course he denied it because he fought the lawsuit. Of course he's denied it. He's already denied it. We know that. We don't have to give that thing. Donald Trump denies it. Okay, we know that. That's why they went to court. And went to court and he was found liable, which in a civil court means, like, if you're in a criminal court, it's guilty or not guilty. In a civil court, I guess it's liable or not liable. He was found liable. And then a judge later said it was akin to the R word. Epstein. But for some reason, in MAGA land, people just can't get it through their heads. And they're also trying to distract with other things. But they just can't get it in their heads that, oh my gosh, Donald Trump could possibly be guilty of something or have some involvement or could be covering something up or trying to throw them off the trail or something, whatever it is. All they do is, for the most part, take orders. But you know who's not taking an order? You know who's not doing it? That is the Congress. And this is a Republican member of the Congress because they're going to ask, where is the thing? Congress is wanting to question Donald Trump. Let's put this up. It is from, it's a tweet this morning that they showed what Congress is doing. And it's from a Republican member of Congress. that they want to have them come in and release some information. Can we put that up, please?
Sorry, I'm looking for it.
So you brought it up, Andy, as we were going through the elements this morning. But anyways, so Congress wants the information released, but will the Speaker of the House do it? I am not sure. It was the last thing that you just had up. Back up one more. There we go. Put that up on the screen. Thank you. From Jake Sherman, news, Epstein issue not going away. Tim Burchett will offer a motion and oversight shortly to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell for a deposition. They want to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell for a deposition. Tim Burchett is Republican. It's not going away for them. And they're doing everything within their power to try to distract, at least in the White House, and some of the Donald Trump stands, but not all of them are falling for it. He may still have some, when they ask about support among Republicans and he's still at 80, 90% or whatever it is, I do believe that it takes a while for this stuff to settle in, as I say, to ruminate. It takes a while for it to ruminate, okay? Now, I want to go and I want to play, this is from Rachel Maddow, and we were talking about the people who are involved in this. We said that this woman filed a suit in 1996 and then again in 2006. And then I showed you the Jane Doe people they filed a case and then withdrew it, filed a case and then withdrew it. Don't know why. That's the reporting. Why hasn't anything happened with this? Why might they be going to Ghislaine Maxwell? Why is this something now that's coming about? Okay, are you ready for this? Rachel Maddow explains it pretty succinctly. We've discussed it with you, but I think Rachel does a good job of explaining about all of the people, many of the people who are involved in this, Alex Acosta, all of them, and nothing has come out of it. And somehow they're either in Donald Trump's cabinet or have been in his cabinet or in his orbit. Here's Rachel.
What happened to the lawyer who got Epstein his bizarrely lenient plea deal when he was first arrested on sex trafficking charges in Florida? What happened to the lawyer who got him that bizarrely lenient plea deal? Well, Trump hired him to be his own lawyer. What happened to the U.S. attorney who gave Jeffrey Epstein that bizarrely lenient plea deal? Oh, Trump put him in his cabinet in his first term. Well, who then prosecuted Epstein a second time when he was brought up on federal charges? Oh, that was the SDNY line prosecutor who Trump inexplicably fired last week. Who was in charge of the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Prisons when Epstein then killed himself in federal custody? President Donald Trump, who bragged to a reporter about how much Epstein seemed to like women on the younger side, who said Epstein was a lot of fun to be with, who bragged that he was friends with Epstein for 15 years, who flew on his plane at least 7 times, and who now says that everybody needs to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein right now? Answers there are Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, and Donald Trump.
I have been telling you for a couple of weeks now that the person who has the most connections between Jeffrey Epstein, I should say, there are 2 people. One of them is in prison, Ghislaine Maxwell. The other one is Donald Trump, who was his best friend, according to all sources. Who Donald Trump says, I never really liked him. I kicked him out of the office or whatever, the club. I never really liked him because he was a creep. Basically, I don't know him. I didn't draw the pictures. I have no idea what you're talking about. It is the same excuse every single time. Are you falling for the okie doke? Because some of these MAGA folks, these MAGA trolls in the comment section are quiet as a church mouse. They don't know which way to turn. They have no idea. What am I going to do? Oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Do I believe him? Do I not believe him? Do I believe him? Do I not believe him? I tell you who is covering for him. We'll get to that one. I want to play this, though. This is just Trump stands right here who are not letting this go, and Donald Trump wants them to let it go. Alex Jones not letting it go. Now, I want you to listen to this conversation that Alex Jones had with this just random person who claims that he had a meeting with the vice president. Now, think about, these are the kinds of characters that are in the Trump administration's folks' orbit. But again, they're not letting it go. And here it is.
The Trump administration have been heavily implicated. I'm not going to name names. And so you nailed it when you brought up Netanyahu. So let me, if you've got time here.
I have to. We have all the time in the world. I just want to add, when Bondi said we have 10,000 hours of video, she said we have 10,000 hours of video. I had dinner last week with the vice president. He told me that was commercial pornography. They do not have videos of any powerful person in a compromising position. That's the party line that they're going with. If that's the case, why would Pam Bondi call it evidence? Why would she say it's evidence? She's not an idiot. She's the attorney general. Why would she say she has files on her desk if none of these implicated anybody? It just feels like they're covering something for sure.
Someone said, who is that jabroni? I love that because right on. I think, what was that? Was that Casual Observer? Whoever said that? Who is that jabroni? Right on. This person is claiming that they had a meeting with the vice president of the United States. Again, those folks not letting any of this stuff go. And that's the Trump stands. They usually stand with him. But on this one, they've got some questions. More questions. Why is Donald Trump now sending Tom Homan out to try to distract? We'll talk about that. And why does this Epstein cover-up matter so much? And what does Obama have to do with this? First, a word from our sponsors. Today's show is also sponsored by ZBiotics. Now, let me tell you about a little secret that I use before nights out. It's called ZBiotics. It is a pre-alcohol probiotic that actually helps you feel good the next day. I just tried it before a dinner party. I had my usual tequila, blood orange, all right? And the next morning, I woke up feeling really fresh, no fog, no sluggishness, just good. Now, here's why. When you drink, your body creates a toxic byproduct. Not the alcohol itself, but what it turns into. ZBiotics helps break that down in your gut before it becomes a problem. It is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic, and it works. So before your next barbecue, your next sunset cocktail, your next cookout, your next wine night at the beach, make ZBiotics your first drink. Then wake up ready to take on the day. So go to zbiotics.com/lemon and use code LEMON for 15% off. That's zbiotics.com/lemon and use the code LEMON. Lean is also a sponsor of today's show. So look, not everybody wants needles. Not everybody wants prescriptions. And not everybody, let's just be honest, can afford those trendy weight loss shots. They're expensive. But if you are looking for a natural way to manage cravings and shed a few pounds, Lean might be what you're waiting for. It is packed with ingredients like caralluma. It is an edible cactus from India that helps control appetite. I have been learning more and more about it. And let me just tell you, this isn't just some gimmick, okay? It is science-backed and designed to help with fat metabolism and blood sugar too. I've been using it. I lost a couple pounds, you can see. The doctors behind it say it is the closest thing that they have created to mimic the benefits of those expensive injections, but with zero needles, just a daily supplement. So if you got a summer goal, I want you to start here. Here's what you do. Go to takelean.com and use the code LEMON20 for 20% off. That's take, TAKELEAN.com, code LEMON20, lemon20, okay? You've got this, and this time it's natural. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Amen. Thank you to our sponsors. We're so glad to have them. Okay, so the MAGA folks are focusing on this. The manosphere personalities say that Trump is heavily implicated by Epstein. That's what they're saying, Alex Jones, and then that random character who was on Alex Jones saying that he had a meeting with the vice president. Okay, the only meeting I know about with the vice president was over the weekend that was reported with the Murdochs. I think they were in Montana at a ranch. Were they talking about the lawsuit? Were they talking about some other deal? How they're going to work this out so they can keep Trump in their favor, keep him as president, keep the ratings going? I don't know. But I tell you this, the Washington Post is reporting that MAGA focuses on Epstein and Trump wants a distraction. In the past 48 hours, Trump has unspooled comments on a litany of controversies, all of which seem designed to distract attention from the Jeffrey Epstein case. And then it goes on to show you all of the distractions. Now, before I show you the distractions, let me just show you. Let me just show you how many reportedly Fox News, because one of the distractions is Barack Obama, that somehow Barack Obama is going to be arrested and the Democrats and all, which is a crazy conspiracy theory on the right by the MAGA folks, considering they're already not even knee deep. They're already neck deep in a conspiracy theory that's not panning out for them. And now they want to they're sparking another conspiracy theory that is not going to pan out. I don't know what the strategy is. It seems bizarre to me. But Matthew Gertz is, let me say Matthew Gertz, because I don't want to get you confused with the Matt Gaetz. So Donald Trump's strategy of unifying his base by floating lies which provide them with a familiar common enemy is having success on Fox. Monday mentions on Fox News live programming, this is according to Matthew Gertz, Obama, 117. Obama is off living his best life. Probably right now he's somewhere in Martha's Vineyard or something, living his best life. Jeffrey Epstein was mentioned twice. Again, this is according to Matthew Gertz. Can you believe that? And so this morning, just before I was like, let me flip through and see what's going on. I said, let me just go check Fox News out this morning, the Fox and Friends. Guess what they were talking about? You guys want to guess? You want to guess what they were talking about? Anybody? Bueller? Anyone want to guess what Fox and Friends was talking about? It involved someone that they were obsessed with a computer. There you go. MLV2499. Hunter Biden is what they were discussing. It was their big story. And then I'm sure they went on to Obama. But they weren't talking about Epstein. They were talking about Hunter Biden. Okay? So these are the mentions. Now, let me show you some of these conspiracy theories. The conspiracy theories about Obama I'm sure you guys saw that meme. You saw the meme about Obama, right? Apparently, Tulsi Gabbard is saying Obama suppressed some information that has involved Russia. And now all of a sudden, the manosphere and the Trump folks are out saying, oh my gosh, you've got to arrest what? Barack Obama. Axios reporting, Trump's forever grudge ties Epstein files to Russia hoax. That's according to Axios. He's trying to connect Barack Obama and the Russia hoax so that people can stop talking about Epstein. Now, this one is a bit long, but I just want to show you just how ridiculous this is. Matt Walsh says, enough with the memes. Arrest Obama now. They believe in this bullshit, they're going from one grand conspiracy theory to another. Here it is.
The Trump administration is making a claim on the record about a criminal conspiracy at the highest levels in Washington, D.C. to undermine Trump and subvert the will of the voters. And it's far from the first criminal conspiracy that people in the Trump administration or Trump himself have claimed. I believe them. I mean, I believe this conspiracy happened. The evidence is overwhelming. So what then? What will the consequences be Right now, President Trump is, making a bunch of posts on Truth Social depicting Obama officials in orange jumpsuits. Tulsi Gabbard is doing hits on Fox News and posting these threads on Twitter. They're sounding notes of indignation and outrage. All that is fine. But none of that matters if they fail to actually go and make arrests. Barack Obama himself should be in handcuffs. You cannot allege a treasonous conspiracy and then do nothing about it. Now, if I seem a bit cynical here, the typical pattern by Republicans since forever is to make these kinds of claims, but to make them only on social media and Fox News, and to never actually bring it to a court of law so the parties responsible can be held accountable for their crimes. And I'm tired of it. I'm sick to death of it. Go arrest these people and bring them to justice. Funny memes and outraged sound bites on Fox News are not going to cut it anymore. Go make an arrest. Put somebody in prison. And if you won't do that, then what does any of this matter? Why should we care about any of this if you won't follow it up by putting people in prison? In fact, I'll say this. The consequences of these allegations from Tulsi must be one of two things. Either top Obama officials are arrested, or Tulsi Gabbard should be fired. Now, I like Tulsi. I hope she's not fired, but the only valid reason to not make any arrests is if the claims that she made are false. And if the DNI is falsely alleging treasonous conspiracies publicly, then clearly she should be run out of town. But if what she's saying is true, and I believe that it is, as I just outlined for 15 minutes, then failure to make arrests would make top Trump officials complicit in the conspiracy after the fact. There is no legitimate reason to make no arrests if the claims are true. So something must happen here. Someone has to be punished. Or else none of this means anything at all. It's just fodder for cable news and nothing else. Go make an arrest. Put somebody in handcuffs. Put Barack Obama in handcuffs. Not just in a meme, not in some AI-generated funny video. In real life. Now, they did it to Trump with far less justification. So what are you going to do, Trump administration? What are you actually going to do about this? Maybe something will happen, and I hope it does. But the pattern has always been that Republicans allege high crimes and misdemeanors only to punish precisely no one for them and to hold no one accountable in any way whatsoever.
Okay.
This has to change.
Okay.
It has to change.
Okay. This is not like
right now.
This is not like that they allege these things and there's no, it means, Matt Walsh, that there is nothing to them. That is a conspiracy theory that is not based in any facts. There's no evidence of it. So therefore, you cannot put people in jail or arrest people or hold them accountable for something that did not happen. See how that works? That's the most I've ever heard from that man, but it is just really, you are right. Whoever in the comments is dumbass, and it is small d energy. Now, either he has to know better. Is he doing it just for clicks? Does he understand that he's working for the conspiracy theorists, or that all of the bullshit that they have been spewing is now coming to light? And they are now going to have to suffer the consequences for lying to people from all these years. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why he thinks that for some reason, these people should be held accountable for something for which there is no evidence. And Tulsi Gabbard, really? Tulsi Gabbard, the president of the United States, ordered a report on something and then read it and then made a judgment. Oh my gosh, high crimes and misdemeanor. Whoa! Thank you, my little niece. Oh, right. Here is from Politico. A polling analyst digs into Trump's ratings and Epstein. Okay, let's go through this. The president's job approval has been remarkably stable. That might be about to change. This is why they are concerned about it. Back up just a little bit on this. Let me see what this says. Okay. All right, you can go back. Throughout Donald Trump's decades in politics, his critics have reacted predictably, almost reflexively, to his string of seeming career-ending statements, precedent-setting policies, and perceived missteps. This is it. This time, Trump has finally done something so outrageous, so over the line, that his popularity will plunge and never recover. But it's never really happened. Is it going to happen this time? The difference is this time is that he does have 80% of support from his base, but he is constrained by single-digit approval that he gets from Democrats and independents who lean Democratic, and also just independents in general. And if you look at the polling, he's not doing well. His polling is low. And people of both parties believe that something is being hidden, that the Trump and the administration, that they're hiding something. And they want the information released. I don't know how he escapes that. Now, does that drive him from office? I don't know. I don't believe that it will. But as I have been saying, this is what? Breaking the spell. This is a chink in the armor, so to speak. This is where something actually penetrated the Trumposphere. Has penetrated the Teflon. And now we shall see. The other distraction that I want to just point out is one Tom Homan, who is the border czar. Tom Homan was on, and we're talking about, speaking of these bad ratings, approval ratings that we're talking about, Tom Homan says, damn that, he doesn't care. I'm sure, I mean, Donald Trump probably cares, but he'll say he doesn't care. But Tom Homan, the distraction, they're putting him out there. Hey, I mean, he did an MSNBC. Well, let's put Tom Homan on MSNBC. Let's try to change some of this. Okay, so here's Tom Homan.
So, Mr. Homan, obviously, this is one of this mass deportation program, one of President Trump's signature campaign promises. But there's been a series of polls lately, including a new one from CBS, in which 56% of those surveyed disapprove of the president's immigration stances. That's a 10-point drop from back in February, blamed by some on some of the in-your-face tactics, the masked ICE agents, the detention centers like Alligator, Alcatraz. Why do you think that the majority of Americans right now do not like what they're seeing?
Well, first of all, I don't believe the polls. Second of all, if there's any movement in the polls at all, it's because of the false stories out there about ICE. Look, I read in the paper every day that a majority of people in ICE custody are not criminals. Wrong. The majority are criminals. But now the argument is, are they criminal enough? Is a DUI dangerous enough? Well, 10,000 people a year die from DUIs. I think DUI is a crime. So, then you got this whole, back and forth on how serious a crime is it. But I looked at the numbers yesterday. A majority are criminals, have criminal history. Who are the rest of the people in our custody? They're national security threats. They may not have a criminal conviction, but they're national security threats based on intelligence reports. For instance, ICE arrests over 200 Iranian nationals that are currently in custody. Yeah, they're not documented criminals, but they're national security threats. They need to be detained. There's also what we call expedited removal cases. There are certain immigration arrests that we make.
Okay. All right. You guys get it. We don't have any criminal activity of them, but where we believe that the reports show that they are a national security threat. Where's the evidence of that? Where's the due process? And Mr. Homan, if you think that these stories are fake and false about what ICE is doing, and that ICE is operating on the up and up, then why on earth would you do what? Make them wear masks, Tom Homan. Or allowing them to wear masks. Here's Tom Homan.
The masks, I think, are important. How do we get rid of the mask? Stop the hateful rhetoric. Assaults on ICE officers are up over 800%. And I specifically mean members of Congress. If members of Congress can compare ICE to the Nazis, that gives some of those people on the far left, that the out of control people, it emboldens them to take action. I'm just asking to let's stop the hateful rhetoric, and if you question what ICE does, then let's go to Congress and talk about the immigration law and how and what changes are needed. But again, they're simply enforcing the law that they're required to enforce and uphold the oath they took to enforce those laws.
Yeah, that's what I used to say about IRS agents. If you don't like what the IRS is doing, talk to members of Congress. They're the ones that pass the law. So I understand what you're saying, and certainly if there's markings, then understand the balancing act on the masks as well. It's Border Czar Tom Homan. Thank you so much.
What? What did Joe? What was Joe saying? I didn't hear that part. But what is he talking about? Understand what? Okay. Anyways, yeah, that was weird, right? Okay, so here's I just want to show you guys this. Here's the breaking news. The breaking news right into the Don Lemon show right now is that the Trump administration, this is the update. Johnson, the House Speaker Mike Johnson, is shutting down the House until September to block Epstein vote. What? Well, we knew it could happen. They didn't want it to happen. They did not want to vote on this. And now he is shutting down the House to September because he wants to block the vote. Keep scrolling. He wants to block that vote. He does not want this out there. Speaker Mike Johnson said he would shut down the House until September in order to head off Democrats' demands for votes calling for the release of the files from the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the announcement came just after the House Oversight Committee voted to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell, the longtime partner of Mr. Epstein, for a deposition. We told you about that on the program. Todd Blanch said he's pursuing an interview with Ms. Maxwell, who is serving 20 years on a trafficking conviction. A lawyer for Ms. Maxwell confirmed the talks announced by Mr. Blanch and the former defense attorney for Trump. So now Mike Johnson is shutting down the House. Here's the thing. All right, let him shut down the House, which is awful. But that will just make this drag on longer. But also, what information are they afraid of coming out now, right now, before they actually go interview Ghislaine Maxwell? See, they want to get their ducks in a row. They want to go interview Ghislaine Maxwell, and then they'll, does she know something? Is she going to, whatever? Can we keep her from flipping? Can we do a deal with her? Can we do it? Okay, all of that. What do you know? Blah, 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 blah. So trying to get all of that to happen before Congress has an opportunity to vote on it and get the information themselves. It's not that hard, everyone. It's not that hard to figure out. The breaking news. Let's show the breaking news. Mike Johnson is shutting down the House. And here is Mike Johnson saying just that.
You say yesterday that you were in lockstep with the administration on the Epstein files, but it doesn't seem that you're in lockstep with all of your House Republicans. Thomas Massey just saying in the past hour that this is going to come back and bite Republicans. What do you say to those schisms inside your conference here?
I say Thomas Massey is the one trying to bite Republicans, okay? I'm not quite certain what his strategy is.
But it's just not him. I mean, otherwise you guys wouldn't be calling off the week tomorrow. You'd be able to put your rules on the floor. I understand the issue with the Democrats.
Yeah, no, I just explained why. We're not going to play political games with this. We've all been very clear and transparent. The House Rules Resolution sets a good standard and requires all credible evidence to be released, and that's exactly where the White House is. There's no, as I've said many times over the last, as I've said many times, there's no daylight between the White House and the House. You have to allow the legislation to ripen, and you also have to allow the administration the space to do what it is doing. The president has said clearly, and he has now ordered his DOJ to do what it is we've all needed DOJ to do for years now, and that is to get everything released. So they're in the process of that. There's no purpose for Congress to push an administration to do something that they're already doing. And
so that is his explanation. Does that pan out to you? Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make much sense to me. There is no daylight between the House and whatever and the White House. Okay. And they hate Thomas Massie now. He is the only Republican I know that is really standing up to him. And then Donald Trump has called him the worst Republican ever. That's what they're saying about Thomas Massie. Interesting. They all of a sudden now hate Thomas Massie. Wow. Thomas Massie, Republican. West Virginia. Mountain Mama. And there we go. There you have it. That is what's happening in the world right now. Okay? That is what's happening in the world, and you know about it, and you don't have to sit in front of the television all day. I hope you learned something. And before you go, I want you to hit the thumbs up, and I want you to hit the like, and please become a member and also hit that subscribe button. And also this, just real quickly, come check us out on, I just had a conversation yesterday. The tickets are selling. You better get them fast. They're selling faster than last time. August 12th, 7:30 p.m., City Winery. Make sure you check out DL and DL Anything Goes. Don Lemon and DL Hughley. Man, DL's fired up. He's like, I can't wait to get out and talk to these people. I can't wait to get their questions. I can't wait to hear from them. I can't wait to spend time with them. We're also doing a meet and greet afterwards. So come check us out. August 12th, City Winery in New York City. It is a beginning. If this goes well, we're going to take it around the country. Also, check out our merch. Okay, people are asking about the hat. Everyone says I love the hat. You can go to donlemon.com and just click on merch. There you go, and you can check out. You can get some stuff there. The mug, the hat, everything, even the fan. I know you guys still have. It's hot out there. You still have some cookouts and some barbecues and so dance. Get your fans on. Okay. Get your fans on. Again, not my idea, your idea. You guys wanted merch, so there you have it. And the merch store is actually doing really, really, really well. Grab the t-shirts. You can grab the hats. You can grab the glass. You can grab the popcorn bin. You can grab all of it, okay? We have a new hoodie that is out right now as well. We got socks. We've got beach bags. We have everything that you need. Just be a part of the Lemon Nation. Go check out the merch store. Go to donlemon.com and click on merch, and there you go. Also, you can go to donlemon.com and click on that top button that says watch, and it will show you. I'll take you right there. You can see where you can subscribe, where it says subscribe button, or where you can join and become a member. Okay? So thank you for keeping us viable. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Don't sit in front of the TV all day and be outraged, okay? You can be informed without being inundated. And so until I see you back live here at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, turn the TV off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next.